today's video is what I wish I had access to when I started my mission of ending this cycle I came from. And in today's video, we're going to discuss conflict resolution. Okay? Now, the reason why so many of you struggle with arguments, struggle with holding people accountable, struggle with winning any of them is because you don't have a conflict roadmap. Okay? Now, this is the problem I find. You see, this is actually from, again, work with a client as we were discussing. This was basically a breakdown. So this is where you're at. Okay, you start off here, you go into the camp, right? So, and it's full of landmines that are based on triggers, identity, control, and identity, which we're going to go break down after. But you come out based on designated areas, which is winning an argument, right? That's your end goal for some of you. Some of you genuinely feel like imagine there's 4 doors. You pick either winning an argument, holding people accountable, or doing what the other person wants. And in other words, people pleasing or fawning. All right. Now, again, if that was what your outcome was actually supposed to get you, then I have a deeper question to ask you, which is, why the hell would you want as an outcome? Because all of these are dead ends, right? When you win the argument, guess what? Once your ego is boosted, what else happens? Nothing. Is that person disconnected or connected? Disconnected. So you now probably have to make up for it, like I did, in the gap that is now felt in the silence that the person now feels in their identity now being questioned, or their perspective now being invalidated. So winning an argument is a dead end. Please stop doing it. Number 2 is holding people accountable. I feel like this generation, because of how long and how much they've been wronged, have an obsession with it. They feel like end of be all. If we could hold every single person accountable, this world would be a better place. And I'm here to tell you that, again, it's a dead end. Why? Because all it is you just want comfort. When you are driven by smokescreen, you end up being blindsided. I need you to understand that the moment you want to hold someone accountable, if there's a deeper answer to why you want to hold them accountable, then holding them accountable isn't the prime reason for you wanting to do that in the first place. Why do you want to hold someone accountable? They hurt you. Or they've done this wrong. Why do you feel that's what they've done this wrong? I have a different perspective of what they have. Can you see how the more we go deeper, the more we realize that it's not really about holding them accountable. It's about them making you feel comfortable. It's about them validating your story or your perspective. I know I'm right. They know they're wrong. Okay? So again, another dead end. And then the last but not least is just giving them what they want. Right? I'm just going to be the bigger man. I'm just going to, do you know what? It's not even worth it. Now you think you're an expert because you're no longer having arguments. Yeah, because they get what they want whilst you neglect yourself. Again, I've done those 3. And I'm telling you now, they all suck. And there's no one out there telling you this stuff. This is why I wish, when I started this desire of wanting to end the cycle and building a healthy household that unlearned the things that I learned and got me into a space where I know I can be at peace with what I've built. These are the 3 predestined or prepackaged destination I had. There was no other way until I understood that I can actually set a goal that I want to reach, which is connection. Now, please understand that in order for me to get to connection, I'm going to show you in this video what that looks like and what you need to be aware of in order to make sure that you don't explode on your way there. Okay? Alright, so my name is Mac Doe and I help men and women lead themselves so they can lead everywhere else. And again, built an amazing relationship with my wife from the bottom. We were both healing. And again, I've shared across my book, across the many videos I've made on TikTok and YouTube, what I've done in order to get there so that you can also build the healthy homes and the healthy household I'm now proud of. Cool, so let's dive in. So first things first, what's really the issue with ego, right? What does winning the argument actually mean for you? Right? Because that's what we need to discuss. What are we doing when we're really saying that we want to win the argument? Because let's be honest. That's what I like doing in this channel, being honest, cutting to the crap. cutting through the crap. Cool. So if I'm winning the argument, guess what's happening? My ego's boosted. What did we say ego is? It's a people cage. It doesn't exist until you add other people that you want to impress into that mix. Simple as. The only way ego can exist is if you add people that you're trying to impress. And so the 6 identities, or the 6 identities that ego is fed by, is significance, acceptance, approval, intelligence, pity, and strength or power. Okay, now this is a game changer. Once I understood this, I promise you there's so many things that I was able to now understand. You see, people are not showing you who they want to be. They're showing you who they want you to see them as. Especially when they're insecure. Especially when they're telling you how significant their status is. How significant their achievements are. Especially when they're telling you how good of a person they are. How judgmental and moral they are. Especially when they're telling you how much they want to belong into that group, how much they want to please and serve and add value to your journey, right? Because that says approval. Especially when they're telling you how intelligent they are. Okay, I'm prone to this as well, by the way. Just because I've done all of this self-mastery and self-development and self-education doesn't mean that I'm not unaffected by this. Most of my clients are intelligent. That's why they reach out and work with me. I'm intelligent, or I want to be seen as intelligent, because I was dumb. Okay, I made a lot of mistakes, and through those mistakes, I built a system that told me never again put yourself in this position again. Okay, so again, I built this intelligent, I guess, mask to protect myself from the past I hated or I was disgusted by. So my shadow is dumb, impulsive, and very naive, right? Pity. When someone, again, this is when people's really had a rough life, okay? And the worst thing you can do is tell them, I feel sorry for you. You tell someone that had a rough life, I feel sorry for you, they will look at you with disgust. They say, excuse me, why would you feel sorry for me? What you say to them is actually the opposite. You say, listen, I don't think anyone's going to be able to understand you. What you've gone through, I'm surprised you're still here. Oh, now you've done it. You've added value to my ego. And then there's power and strength, which is what most men felt, because they felt powerless. When they told you not to cry, guess what happened? Ego arise. Make sure they never see you as a weak man again. Now, you're doing everything that represents strength. Oh, listen, as a man, I do this. You know what I'm saying? I got my muscles. I know what I'm talking about, and I'm proud to this as well. Okay? I felt powerless and dumb. So now I go to the gym because I want to be a Super Saiyan, but I also value being perceived as someone that carries himself with strength. Okay? So that's some self-awareness for you guys. But then, when you're not having an argument, to take it back to this, guess what's happening? Your identity is saying, let me feed my ego. Let them validate my perspective. Okay? And I need you to understand something about perspective. It's subjective. Okay? The next time you want to have your argument, just understand something. Your perspective is subjective. It is based on your life experiences, your decision, your environment, and most importantly, how you decide to view the world. And guess what? There's 8 billion ways to view it. So the moment you're turning your perspective into a moral judgment, what you're doing is you're dismissing the half-truth in their perspective. This is why winning the argument is dumb. I'm sorry. Again, this is coming from someone that, as an intelligent individual, genuinely thought that I can say you're wrong, I'm right, you're wrong, you're right. And yeah, we can say, oh, what does the Bible say? What does this person say? And again, the same Bible that wrote the rules and said do not kill, ordained people to kill. Okay? And you can say, and there's different arguments you can have. You can say, oh, well, happened in the Old Testament, the New Testament, thou shalt not kill, no one killed. Actually, some people died in the New Testament too. Remember the apostles that lied about what they were offering? So my point is this: perspective is subjective. You can find some half-truths to everything. And the reason why contradiction exists is because you're trying to dismiss the truth that the other person has found. Right, don't want to confuse you guys too much today. But my point is this: once you understand that your job isn't to say I'm right, you're wrong. Your job is to understand that if you want to get to connection, this is only for the people that want to get to connection. If you want to stay at, I want to win the argument, by all means, be a scholar, whatever the frick you want to do. Or you want to hold people accountable, again, go ahead, see how that goes. But tell me, how's that going? How's holding your African parents accountable going? Is it going well? Are they finally admitting? Or are you fighting a miserable fight where you're trying to realistically get some comfort out of them despite them not understanding that you can't do that once you're triggering all of this stuff in the same box? Now I'm going to dive into the roadmap, okay? But let's stick with the route. So comfort, let's talk about accountability. Okay, a lot of us, again, obsessive. It's so ingrained in this generation that we need to hold men accountable. I had some guys saying, hey, listen, man. I love what you're doing for the men, but why are you not holding the women accountable, man? Because I'm saying everyone has their own perspective. It doesn't align. I don't align with everyone. There's some people that I simply don't agree with. Do I think that their perspective, however, should be invalidated? They probably have their reasons for doing it. They probably do. And there's consequences to their actions. And they're probably aware of it and they're still doing it. So it's pretty up to them. Does it align with what I want or what I'm doing? No. Anyways, so when it comes to holding people accountable, I need you to understand something. The reality of the matter is that you're not trying to hold people accountable. You just want them to validate your comfort. And the moment you realize you're outsourcing your comfort to something that you can't control, then you realize that the only person that really needs to be held accountable is you. Because why are you looking for comfort in something or someone that's not wired to give you that? We speak about it a lot on this channel, but what is suffering? Suffering is when you have expectations here or preference here, and then reality is here. That gap is called suffering. And when you're trying to hold someone accountable that isn't wired to understand your perspective, guess what you're doing? You're suffering. You're intentionally putting yourself through suffering. There was a time a client came to me and said, my wife never cleans. She doesn't like cleaning. And I said, okay. Yeah, I've tried talking to her. I'm just not getting through to her. I was like, okay, man, that definitely sounds frustrating. That's for sure. Just out of curiosity, was she doing that before she met you? He was like, no. Okay, so you looked at her environment that she grew up in. You knew that that's not something that's in her, yet you're expecting her to do what exactly? Do you go to the car valley, pick up a Lamborghini and expect it to drive like a Fiat Punto? No. Okay, so why are you then expecting your wife to do something she's never showed you? And he was like, damn, so what do I do now? I'm saying, first of all, you stop holding someone accountable based on you looking for comfort, and you start looking for the real situation, which is connection. You want to build a team, work with the strengths you've got. What is she good at? What are you good at? Build from there. Okay, what does she like about you? What does she want about you? What are your values? What are their values? Right? Be resourceful with what you have in front of you. I need you guys to start doing that, guy or woman. Okay? Now, last but not least, before we get to the connection, is just giving them what they want. There's an epidemic, a serious epidemic. It used to be called simping. I don't know what it's called now. But you know what's funny? It's like, you can't simp. Like, simping is bad until you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship, it's fine. It's understandable, it's allowed, it's okay. Simping is self-neglect. That's all it is. It is not you taking care of your wife. It is not you being this nice person. No, it's you neglecting yourself for the sake of someone else. The only problem, if you can do what you're doing without neglecting and maintaining connection, then yeah, you're doing it from a place of abundance. If you're doing it because you depend on them saying yes to you, that is simping and it's self-neglect. Forget simping, let's call it self-neglect. Does it align with what this channel is about or what I'm about? No. You feel free to do it. Just stop calling it I'm taking care of my people whilst I'm neglecting myself. Even the Bible, the most kind person I know, Jesus, who died for my sins, okay, he told me to love thy neighbor as you love thyself. So they didn't say neglect yourself for the sake of others. So you being the bigger man and then relabeling that as I'm happy to neglect myself as long as everyone else is okay, is self-neglect. It's not biblical, it's stupid, and you just stop doing it. Because that's what's going to cost you resentment. You do it over a period of time, your body's not going to read it as you're just being a man or you're just being someone that cares about people. No, your body's reading it as you are neglecting the very thing that's doing these things. It doesn't make sense. If you want to keep doing those things, you need to be able to keep pouring into the person that's doing them. It's a bar right there. Cool. So these 3 rules we've established that are simply no-go. Despite what social media is telling you, despite what your therapist is telling you, it's just a no-go. Stop trying to hold people accountable, stop trying to win the argument, and stop just trying to be the bigger man and just call it a day. You want to get to connection. And now for connection to exist, you need 2 people standing for something, trying to reach a specific goal. Right? The best example I could give you is, imagine you're driving, okay? You don't want to just drive off, right? You want to stop at the location the person is at, say, hey, do you want to jump on? This is where we're going. We're going to Connecticut. Connection, you get the point, right? And then you start driving. However, in order for that to happen, this is what you need, the roadmap. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. Alright, so there's a few things you need in order for the roadmap to be effective. Alright? Now, a lot of us are not aware of this, but your brain treats the conflict, the arguments, like a war, like a genuine war. Like it literally, the same responses it would have in a war is the same responses that are triggered or activated in a conflict, right? So your identity, because the moment your identity feels threatened, your safety feels threatened, the moment your safety, your control and your identity feels threatened, guess what happens? Your body automatically explodes and says, tantrum, we need to get ourselves to safety, whatever the cost is. I don't know what that looks like, and it's too blurry for us to see anything. Let's get to safety. That's what happens when people explode. That's what happens when people panic and whatever the case is, right? Cool. Now, another thing you're not aware of is that if you're dealing with someone that's gone through trauma, then they don't just have 3 landmines, they've got 4. And they're spread across different areas, right? And the 4th one is patterns. The same patterns that broke us are the same patterns that the moment we see, we'll be instantly aware of seeing and flee as far as possible from. Because we're never going through that traumatic experience again. That's what trauma is. Trauma is your body adjusting an extra security alert just to ensure that whatever happened in the past doesn't happen again. This is why when you're chewing, this is why funny. There's very funny stuff on that. Anyways, you know when someone's chewing and you're just that's a pattern. That's your body saying there's something that we haven't dealt with, but I know that this is how it started. Oof, I'm cooking today. And then you have other ones, such as someone says a word, someone says this, someone says that, and then bam, instantly on fire. You start again. I want you to understand that these 4 are landmines, and they are spread across the camp. And just like any soldier, you need to be skilled enough to understand where they're at so that they don't set off. Because once they set off, say goodbye to your location. You're not going to get there. It's just not going to happen. Why? Because you've triggered the landmines. Okay? The moment you trigger that person's identity, which is based on the certainty of their own experience and perspective, that person's not only going to agree with you, they're going to jump off that car as fast as possible. Why? Because they don't feel safe or in control, or now because their identity has been questioned, they want to get out. Now, I'm not saying that you should now, of course, resent them. That's not what we're saying here. I'm not saying you should be a bigger man and just like bad. No. What we're saying is that you shouldn't trigger their identity. So what do? You validate it. You don't need to agree. We do this thing when we agree to disagree. You don't need to agree in order to validate. You can validate people you don't understand. Why? How? Perfect. I'm glad you asked. You didn't ask. Anyway, I'm still gonna answer it. The way you validate someone that you disagree with is by stating what is actually happening without adding your narrative to it, which is, we are both frustrated, and it's understandable why we are both got into that space. Alright? You're not agreeing, but guess what that person feels? They feel validated. Why? Because you're stating what they also feel. You're stating what you can both relate to. You don't have to agree with people, but to validate them. Okay? So that's an example. There's so many others. And if you're interested in a personalized conflict roadmap, book a call on the bio and I'll have that for you in an hour session. But we'll start off with the 15 one just so I understand what you actually need it for. Anyways, cool. So that's identity, alright? So the best person to describe some of this stuff is a mixture of Chris Voss and Chase Hughes. Now I'm saying Chris Voss because he talks about how he negotiates with terrorists and dangerous people that could potentially endanger multitudes of people or hostages situation and whatnot. And again, the moment he triggers their identity, he's not walking on eggshell because he still needs to get the people to safety. So his goal is safety, not connection. If he triggers their identity, he's lost, right? So in order for you to get to connection, if you trigger their identity, you've also lost. Because it's almost like you walked into the camp and bam, that's stage one. You're wrong, I'm right. You. What are you doing? Are you trying to get to connection or not? Someone asked me, do you tell your partner if you hurt me? Yeah, of course, if you want to hold them accountable, but that's a dead end. What you want to do is understand how to connect. People shouldn't be hurting you. Someone, me, this is the thing, right? Because I value strength, mental strength in particular, I don't give people the permission to hurt me. You don't get to hurt me unless I decide to. And I don't know why people don't want to see that as a good thing. Why do you allow comments to hurt you? Someone's racist towards you, who cares? That's more of a reflection on them than to you. Were you insultive to them? No. So why are they attacking you? But they can only attack you if you allow them to. Anyways. Now, next is control. You see, when people lose or feel like they're out of loss of control, guess what happens? Second explosion. That's when you're screaming, you're shouting, you're accusing. Right? Why? Because all it says is that, hey, listen, you're wrong, I'm right. You're not in control of yourself. You're not even doing things properly, whatever the case is. The moment you trigger any of these, forget getting into connection. It's not going to happen. And I only learned this because I had a very big problem. What I said was very different from how I said it. And I had to learn over time that every single time I did that, the landmines, start again. I wasn't going to get there. I failed 5 times. I'd over-explain, over-commit, because every single time I'm here. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Sorry, I didn't mean to get you that. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel safe. How the hell are we going to get to connection? Set a clear goal. The goal should be, I want to get to connection. Okay? What are the obstacles? Understanding where the landmines are is not walking on eggshells. It's understanding who you're dealing with. There's self-awareness and then there's avoidance. What we're promoting here is self-awareness. Be aware enough to understand that the person you're dealing with has trigger points that you need to understand how to navigate so that that person understands how to get to connection. Listen, you're the one driving the car, okay? There can't be two drivers of one vehicle. Sure, that person can be emotionally intelligent or whatever the case is. That just makes the road easier. But it still doesn't stop you from initiating or wanting to be clear on the outcome you want to receive from that conversation. So even if you guys happen to be two psychotherapists or whatever the case is, you still want to understand how to make sure that they feel safe, they feel in control of their decision, they feel certain about their perspective, their experiences, and you're not triggering any sort of patterns that they may not or be aware of. They'll, of course, the more self-aware they are, the easier it is for you, right? So the point is this: in order for you to get to connection, however, the key needs to be, I get here because of my skill. Understanding how to step away from the landmines. And how do you do that? You set small goals. First goal is, I just want to get to understand that perspective. So tell me about your perspective. What's your thoughts on this? You validate, you put the guard down, right? How do you put the guard down? You validate people. Your aim is to disarm them. I want you to imagine they have a gun in their hand and you're saying, it's okay. We don't need to go there. We're good. But you did this wrong. Bang! Done. But I want to hold you accountable. The only time any of those dead ends don't work is when you put the gun to yourself by saying, I'm going to neglect myself to make them happy. But the gun still goes off, but it just goes on you because you triggered it this time around. Connection is the only way forward. That's the only goal you should have whenever you're having a conflict issue. I want to connect with this person. If you don't want to connect with this person, I want boundaries to be clear. I want this situation to never repeat itself again. I understand we're both frustrated, but you see what's happened? I can't have this happen again because I don't know what I'm going to do next time. That's not that you're not attacking them, right? Their guard's not gone up. They still feel safe. They still feel like you're in control of yourself. And that's the thing. The only time this works is when you're in control of yourself. This is why the work I do is so critical. I need you to be stable because all of this stuff doesn't mean anything without you being able to be still and stable and knowing exactly who's showing up in that conversation. I just finished reading a book, Who's Talking? And it has you questioning what emotion you're feeling or what exactly are you processing in that moment. Oh my gosh, frustration is talking right now. That's not who I want to speak. And then you recalibrate and get the right person to show up. Future you, current you, whatever the case is. Calm you, right? If you don't understand how to do that, then book to link the calls in the description. Alright? But in a nutshell, I hope you understand that understanding the conflict roadmap is based on mainly 4 things, alright? Which I'm going to mention briefly. Number 1, you want to validate or establish the common ground, which is we're both frustrated, or I see why you did this, I don't think we are crazy for thinking what you thought. Then you establish the outcome or the frame. This is the conversations I want us to have. Again, there's different things you can use, such as cognitive dissonance. I believe you're the type of person I can have this conversation with, right? That reinforces the identity that needs to show up in that conversation. Even if that person is pissed off with you and say, listen, this is going to be very hard to hear, but I know you're the type of person that I can have these type of conversations with. That automatically reinforces them to feel like the person showing up needs to be the version that can handle that conversation. Because, hey, this person trusts me to do that. And I appreciate that, right? Because you're empowering their identity. And then, control, right? Control isn't, I'm in control, you're not. No, control is, I'm in control of myself and I can have this conversation with you because I know you can be in control of yourself as well, right? When you're working with kids, whoever it is, you want to empower them, boost their self-esteem to take charge of their own actions so that they can own their decisions. When people own their decision, they're less likely to create friction because it was their decision and not yours. Stop trying to convince people. I made a video in regards to how not to do that. You want to influence people. You can do that from a stable place again. Then, last but not least, safety, containment, the ability to be still. You don't need to be wrong or right, you just need to be there. That is by understanding that perspective doesn't define your state, doesn't define how you show up in that conversation. It just means that there's two different views, and it's okay, because there's 8 billion of them anyway. There's 8 billion perspectives. Always remind yourself of that. There's different ways to skin the cat. There's different ways to look at the same topic. Right? Everyone has the reasons for doing what they're doing. That's the reality of the matter. You can either accept it or carry on judging people and say, no, you're wrong, you're wrong. All judgment really is you not understanding why they done what they done. And then you just placing yourself in a higher footstool saying that I'll never do it. Sure, you can do that, and that's fair. I'm sure there's people that I don't agree or ever will. But do they have a reason to do what they do? Probably, maybe. I don't know what it is, but maybe they do. That's what dopamine is, a reason to take action. And no villain sees themselves as a villain. They all see themselves in the hero in their own way. The Joker didn't see himself as a villain. He saw himself as a liberator, telling people the truth about themselves. Is he wrong for believing that? Who are you to judge? Maybe he probably would have done it differently. Maybe some people say he's a manipulator, but you get my point. Right? Cool. So I really hope this video has helped you in understanding the conflict roadmap. The key is you want to understand the landmines, you want to validate, you want to understand how to get to the conflict without alerting or flagging up the situation. And most importantly, you want to take your time in processing who's showing up in that conversation. Calibrate yourself, relax yourself, reframe the conversation, and prepare yourself to have a conversation where you're not over explaining, you're not over talking, you're being clear, you're being concise, but you're also being very specific in regards to the goal you want to achieve. I am determined to get to connection. I don't want you to feel hurt. I don't want to be hurt. I want us to connect. Okay? If you want to learn more about this, book a call in the bio, and I'll see you in the next one.